Hey there, Chad here. Thanks for joining me. This is my complete beginner's guide to Ostranauts, build 14. And we're going to pick up where we left off. We successfully docked with a derelict ship, and we're going to go see what we can find on that ship to take with us. Real quick, I'm going to make sure I still have my lights on. I do. That's the F1 key that allows you to kind of have the fog of war removed. It works better with my eyes nowadays, folks, and that's what I'm going to go with. Real quick, we have a bin up here on the Dream that I forgot to check. It should be empty. What I normally do is I will put the food stuff, and I'm not actually seeing that. Did I already use the food or something or sell it? I might have accidentally done that. Maybe it's still in here. Nope, I don't know what I did with it. That's on me. I don't have any food. I'm going to need to get food eventually. Right now, I'm still okay. I'm okay on water. Everything else across the board is pretty normal. I'm still well rested. I'm well groomed, but of course I am. But anyway, I like to use these to store things like medicine and food and water, and we're going to do that here. We're going to use this overhead bin, which hangs on the wall, so it doesn't really impact space too much. We'll put that water in there. I don't think we have anything else there. Then I kind of wanted to straighten up some of this stuff here real quick, just to kind of do a little bit of housekeeping real quick. We're going to go to this battery charger and say inventory. This is the GOT charger. And currently we don't have a battery in there. That one's at 90%. That's the Halverson. That wouldn't matter. This is at 80%, 80%, 88%. We'll take this one out. So I'm going to inventory that. I'm going to put its battery on the charger, and I'm going to take this battery and put into that power drill, and we are in good shape now. Okay, next up, we are going to go and explore this ship. And to do that, we're going to need to put on our pressure suit. When you put on your pressure suit, you have to take off your shoes and your outer layer of clothing for the most part. You can leave on a t-shirt or something. But what I think I'm going to do is to get into the right habit, I'm going to store my clothes in this bag. And I can move the bag somewhere else. In fact, I will move the bag somewhere else. But just so it is consistent and in the long term, this is what I will want to do. I'm going to put it in there, and then we're going to walk over here. We're going to store it right here on that space. If I can, yeah, there we go. Just like that. All right, and then we're going to get our pressure suit on. Eventually, we'll have like a living quarters with a bed and things like that, and we'll have him do it in there. But for now, he's going to put on the suit. And there it is, and here's that clip with the light on it. I'm going to go ahead and turn the light on. We don't have any extra batteries for it just yet. It literally uses double A's, believe it or not. That's what it says. And we'll be putting the helmet on in a moment. The thing is, if we put the helmet on right this second, he will start using the oxygen in the suit. So the suit does not have a supply of oxygen or power. So basically, he's breathing what is inside the helmet once we put the helmet on. And he will have to pop the helmet periodically to get oxygen again. But you have to do it in an oxygen-rich environment like our ship. So we'll have to come back quite frequently. That is one of the benefits of an EVA suit. You don't have to worry about that mess because the suit has its own oxygen supply. For now, though, we will go ahead and put the suit, the helmet on. There it is. And we have all his tools with him. We have a weapon just in case, although I really don't think we're going to see a pirate here. And we're going to go ahead and walk over there. And it is pretty dark. That means I'm pausing. I do need to get the inventory out. We do have to hold this light, unfortunately. We'll put it in his left hand. But now we can see a little bit. There is some good stuff. Oh, wow. We got lucky. This is a nitrogen, what is it called? A tug. This is a tug, a gas tug, and it is hauling nitrogen. And it's hauling a lot of it. If these are full, this is a lot of money. And 33,000 kPa is effectively full. I think they go up to maybe 44 sometimes. So that's a 23. That one's not so full, half full, not so full. This is going to be some money. We're going to take all of these. We're also going to take the ones that are here on the intake. And we will take a quick peek around to see if there's anything like super valuable that like a Hydra intake. There is not one. These are floor pieces. Okay, so we talked about this in a previous episode. When a piece is loose, and we talked about it when we were doing orders on what is loose, when a piece is loose on the floor, it has corners like this to kind of indicate that. Means that it is something that is just sitting on the floor. There you go. You can see a little better here. If it were actually the floor piece we were looking at, it wouldn't have those. And that can help you make sure you don't accidentally do something on the floor like bash, as opposed to something sitting on the floor like bash. If we bash that floor, it would put a hole in the hull. We don't want to do that, although I am guessing this isn't airtight. In fact, we can see our gas levels. When you float over something, that the series of numbers there, the top number, which I'm going to call blue, that's your oxygen. There is no oxygen in this system. And then the second one, I'm sorry, that is nitrogen. Top one is nitrogen. There's no nitrogen in this system. The second one is oxygen. There is no oxygen in this system. And the third one is temperature. Interestingly enough, it's 200 degrees in here, Kelvin. That's pretty warm. That's, I mean, for the vacuum of space, that's warm. If we look out here, the temp is 2 Kelvin, almost absolute zero. So that's a pretty good temperature there. If we look in our ship, we don't see the numbers because they're normal. Okay, and it won't show you the numbers if they're in tolerance. But if we hit G, it will show everything. So there we see we're at 77% nitrogen, 20, not percent, but pressure, 21% pressure of oxygen. I think the white number is carbon dioxide. I'm not even sure about some of those other ones, honestly. And then you'll notice the temperature is 297. That's a normal temperature in Kelvin for humans, effectively, a normal-ish temperature. Okay, so out here, what is valuable? What do we want to take? Well, like I said, we hit the motherlode because these tanks are worth a lot of money. I mean, that's going to be the very first thing I take. But there are a few other things here too. There's this pump. It's a turbo pump. It's a little bit damaged. We'll want to fix it up. But turbo pumps are worth a couple of thousand, or can be. And prices are do fluctuate. There are thrusters out here we could grab. Now this one's damaged. It literally needs to be repaired. We wouldn't be able to sell it damaged, but we can repair it and restore it. Here is a normal air pump as opposed to a turbo air pump, and that'll sell for a few hundred. But these tanks, now nitrogen doesn't sell as well as oxygen, and there is an oxygen tank here. It is installed. There it is. It's almost empty, so it's not going to be, a windfall, but it will be money, and money is good. So here we have another pump. I don't remember if there was something else over here. There is a lot of stuff we could take off this ship right now. And we have all this space to put it. So we're going to do exactly this, and we're going to do it in the way that we kind of learned already. We're going to do it as an order, and we're going to say canisters, and we're going to uninstall them. All of these canisters, you'll notice they don't have those little triangles, so they need to be uninstalled, and we're going to tell it to uninstall all of these suckers. There we go, and I'm pretty sure there's one more up here. I can randomly guess. There it is, because it won't highlight anything but canisters, because that's what I selected. So I'm clicking, nothing, right? It won't grab them. I don't think there's going to be any down here then, although usually there's one. There was one by the door there. You usually have an air vent near your airlock, and that's what that is. So now he has all these canisters to uninstall. We're going to say auto task, and then we're going to unpause, and he's going to get to business. And as you can see, he's uninstalling. Now this, what we're going to see here in just a minute, is an absolute fantastic quality of life change in the game from my perspective. We talked about previously the ability to name things, specifically containers, being able to give them specific names, so helpful. But here's something else that's coming up. We're in our pressure suit. We've talked about it has a limited amount of oxygen. It also has no way to scrub the CO2 out of the system. These lights will start to flash when we have a problem. There it is. CO2 started flashing. We need to go take the helmet off, or he'll get epoxy, I think is what that is called. So what we're seeing, he He did it all on his own, and he's going back. That is new for me. We used to have to do that manually. Anytime that would start, had to come out here and move him here and take his helmet off and then go back and do your job. You don't have to do that anymore. If you didn't do it, he would continue to work until he passed out and died, because now he's passed out and he has no oxygen. So just a matter of time. This indicates a hole in the hull, by the way. And the reason it's venting now is when we walked through here, we let some of our atmosphere leak into this ship. You can see the numbers are still not zero. They're moving towards it, but they were zero before. They'll go back to zero. But that's why our ship had pressure there. It moved into this system, and now it's leaving the hull where that hole is. Theoretically, we could patch that hole, might be able to get this ship airtight, get oxygen in it. We wouldn't even have to wear the suit. And that wouldn't be the worst thing. That is one use for those patches. We talked about the manual here. I'll go look at that real quick. The user manual talked about hull patches. One use for those is exactly that, for salvage. You know, we can make it so that the ship is easier to work in. We don't have to keep going running back to our ship. But that's not our plan for today. I do want to show this off real quick. And I'm pausing where I can, just so I'm not wasting all the time. We can put this light in the middle of the floor, and it becomes a light in the middle of the floor. If we walk away, you'll notice that we still have light there, and that's great as well. We don't want to do that just now. We're going to go pick that up. I have one more task I want to do. I'm going to come up here. So all of these things that are canisters, we also will take these intakes. We're going to take a couple of other things. Thrusters are usually pretty valuable. So yeah, that's all really good. But I'm going to come over here to orders again. And this time I'm going to select hull. And I'm going to click on these containers. And what this is going to do is prompt him, when I go back to auto task and turn it on, he will start taking those canisters and hauling them onto our cargo where we had it set to haul. And he'll just place them there, and he'll go get the next one. And he's going to keep doing that until all of them are down here. You notice that alarm is going off. That's because we're losing some of our air pressure every time he goes through the airlock. So you do need to maintain that, monitor that. I will continue to. We're above 20. We're fine. No problems there at all. There may come a time where we want to come and just take a break, let it get caught up, because every time he opens that door, this canister is going to burn just a little bit of its fuel. And there you go. You saw it jump down. It's at 40.587 thousand. So 587, now 487, so 100 units. Pressure were lost. Now 387. So you can see how that works. But he is automatically grabbing all these. Now there are some other things we can do to make this a little easier. We could buy a cart, for instance, that can hold 16 of them at once. There's a lot of fun things like that we can do eventually. For now, we're just going to let him rip. And when these alarms go off, you'll notice that the time multiplier went back to 1. So he took his helmet off while he was here. He got that taken care of, and now he's moving on to continue his job. I do see one more of those, and we can add orders while we're in this mode. While he's doing this, I can click that one and add it. Is that the last one? I think it is. Yep. That one's sitting on the door. Don't love that. I'm surprised the door closed with that there, but he's grabbing the last one now. Oh no, there's two more. So let's see what happens here. Huh. I didn't see where that one went. This will be the last one. Yep. And he'll be done with that task. And since he's in here, he might start cleaning. Yep. He's starting to restore. So we're going to pause here real quick. We're going to turn off auto task. I'm going to tell him to walk over here. Actually, I'm not going to tell him to walk over there. I just want him to stop what he's doing for a moment. I am going to manually take off his helmet. You'll hear a whoosh. Didn't hear the whoosh. I have the sound turned down quite a bit, actually. So That could be why. I want to move this tank from blocking the door to here. Looks like he was able to put 2 there. That's interesting. There's another one. That shouldn't happen, I didn't think. I didn't think you could stack those. So generally you can't stack things that aren't naturally stackable. I'm trying other keys to make sure I didn't miss something, but yeah. I have heard of that. I remember seeing on the Discord once, somebody said, oh, well, I'm able to stack all this stuff. Why can't you guys? I don't know what caused that or allowed it. It's not supposed to be what's happening. Nonetheless, let's go back and look at some of the other equipment. We still have plenty of space here, and we're going to sell every last piece of this, but we need to find it first. That turbo pump right here, that is worth a couple of bucks. We're going to want to uninstall that. And I usually do this at a much higher pace. I'm just trying to make sure I'm not missing anything here so that we can be sure to get our money's worth here. We're going to pick that up and he'll drag it. I'm going to just manually bring him all the way down here. I accidentally paused. And this is where when I'm not talking and doing this at the same time, when I'm just playing for fun and not making a video, I end up swapping time constantly. Just back and forth, speeding up, slowing down so I can catch those little edge cases like that there and get those handled. Now, something else that we should really consider taking while we're here, and believe it or not, it's worth more than you would think, all the conduit. Conduit can be worth quite a bit of money. These pumps are worth money, the thrusters, there's a lot of money in this ship that we could still take. We're talking about several $1,000s worth of stuff here. This is going to pay for our mortgage for a couple of shifts probably. I'm just trying to decide what to grab and how to most efficiently do it so I don't waste every last second of your time. Let's go ahead and go to orders, and we're going to turn on conduit, uninstall, and we're going to just paint it just like that. All this conduit. It won't, if I hit a spot that doesn't have conduit, it won't do anything, so we don't have to worry about that. No, there's no conduit here, so I'm dragging, but nothing's happening. We're literally going to take everything we can. Taking the copper right out of the walls. There we go. That should be most of it. Oh, he missed that tank too. We're going to want to tag that for hauling. And then the other thing we're going to do is we're going to go to equipment and orders, uninstall, and we're going to uninstall that one. I think it hit it. And then we're going to uninstall the thruster. And we're going to uninstall, I think there's another thruster over here. There it is. Hopefully it hits the thruster there. And there's another pump. I think we hit that already. I think there was one, no, that was the turbo. And then there was the intake. We're going to hit that. We're going to try to take all that stuff. We're going to try to have him uninstall it and then drag it. So I'm going to speed up time quite a bit, let him do his own thing. Of course, I have to turn on auto task first. There he goes. And again, he'll go and take care of his helmet issue on his own. And then he'll come back. And also, he's earning experience while he's doing this. Now, one thing you can do is you can go to inventory, conduit stacks, and there's things like small electronic parts. You eventually need these, and you need them in bulk. I mean, you need like 20 of them. You need to have them handy for repairing things in the long run. We're going to want to pick up some of that stuff as well because we don't have any, and we know some of this stuff has to be repaired. But we can stack this conduit while he's working on it on our own, just manually, because he won't otherwise pick it up on his own until we mark it. And I would rather he go ahead and just have it, and we'll put it in that bag or something. There are 2 different kinds of conduit that I'm aware of, and so that's something to know. I like this one, the Albright, I think is what it's called. This is the other kind. It's called the jumper jack. There's no difference in the use. I just like the look of the other one better. That's the only reason. That's the only reason I use it. Here he's taking care of his helmet issue, oxygen. I think he comes over to like these vents, things like that. It appears to be what he's doing most of the time. And then we're going to just pick up the pace. We want to get out of here at some point today, right? Now, if I'm clicking on one of these and he moves, it will drop it for me. And we don't like that so much. So you got to kind of have to be careful of your time as you're doing it. There's loose floor there. Interesting. And again, he's in the process of uninstalling something and he's running out of air, but there he goes. He took care of it. He's coming back. I'm so pleased with that. I did not see that in the past. If that is not a new feature, I'm blown away, because that was one of my biggest frustrations, was having to deal with the pressure suit. I would get EVA suits as quickly as I could, even when I didn't have the money to really get them. And I would use those because at least you didn't run out of oxygen all of a sudden. It was just such a pain running back and forth and manually having to run back and forth, more so than just the process of running back and forth. So really thrilled to see this. He's got another one coming. I'll tell you what, this time when he comes down here, we're going to pause him as he's starting to turn back. I'm going to break this up a bit. We're using this sack for our clothing, and I think that's a good idea. But for now, until we have some other storage devices, I'm going to put all this conduit in there. It will hold it, and it's a good spot for it. I'm going to pause while I move it, and otherwise we will fill up on that conduit pretty quickly. But the good news is this conduit will probably sell pretty well. We'll also go ahead, we'll go ahead and start putting like the electronic parts in there. We'll want those. We will want a lot more of that before we finish. So let's go ahead and have him jump back to it. Got to remember to turn on auto task again. And there he goes. Can't quite see that piece there. There's a piece he's already done, but it's probably right here in this window, and so I can't really do anything about that. Oh, well, I can click there and just make it do it manually, but then I have to go back to auto task. There we go. Speeding up time. And yeah, he moved there and I hadn't grabbed it. Here he did another one. Where is he now? Way up here. He'll be back. It isn't the worst idea to pause once in a while and just get yourself caught up. When he's in the same spot for a bit, it makes it a lot easier. When he's like doing 4 or 5 right next to each other and he's not jumping around, kind of keep up with it at that point. Here is some scrap carbon fiber. That's always welcome. Those will stack. I don't know about the carbon fiber itself, but like this is mechanical parts. Those will stack like in 20 deep. Yeah, we don't need trash. You never need trash, but these other things, these can be really important. That's 100% condition. We're grabbing that. That can be useful. Where is he right now? There he is. You can hit home, by the way, to get back to your little dude. And I'm going to continue to pick these up. Oh, those are different. So these two pieces aren't quite the same. So I can't grab them both. Interesting. And now he's working on some other stuff. He's uninstalling the pump, and he has uninstalled the pump, and he's going back for air. Where are we on time down here? So we have about an hour and 20 minutes before our next mortgage payment is due. We're going to be just fine on that. And there's a thruster. That thruster, unfortunately, when it got set down, it is outside of the wall. We won't be able to grab it. That does happen sometimes. There is something you can do about it, and that is we're going to literally come over here, slow down, and we're going to uninstall this wall. We're going to do that intentionally, and that's okay. You can take the ship entirely apart. You can take every last shred of this ship so that it no longer exists. We could do that if we choose to. I'm just not choosing to do that. The reason we're doing this is we'll be able to grab that particular part. And you'll notice you can't get to the corners. That's why these are still lit up. So just to keep it clean so I know what's going on, we're going to cancel those. You have to have the right thing selected, though. It's conduit in this case. Conduit, conduit. I'm going to turn off equipment because I don't want to accidentally do that. When I look up at this, I want to know that what I'm looking at is authentic. So next, we're going to go to orders, and we're going to go to equipment, haul, and we're going to tag each one of these that he took apart. It's a canister. I'm a little surprised it allowed that to go because it's a loose canister, but I guess it also qualifies as equipment. So I suppose that makes some sense. And I think there was a thruster over here. Looks like we can do that. So we'll have him get to it. And I'm going to keep this up. That one is not uninstalled, but we do have all these conduit pieces. He is full up on conduit. What we could do is stack it real quick. Put it in the, won't fit in a pouch. Interesting. I didn't know that. His tool will fit in a pouch though. And then we can put that there. All right. Let him do his thing. We're almost done here, folks. He's going to drag these over here. That's everything. I think that's all the important parts of this ship. We will slow time down. We will go back out here one more time. Just take a quick look around, make sure we didn't miss anything. That piece of conduit is a different type. I'm not quite sure why it is considered different. It has a little bit different color to. Oh, it's damaged. I wonder if you can't stack damaged and undamaged. That could be. We missed this one here, but he's kind of full up now, so I'm not going to worry about that. Oh, we missed the intake. We definitely want to pick that up. We'll take that back with us. I'm not going to sweat over these few loose pieces of conduit here. There is a time value of money, but there's the value of your time also, and sometimes those things just aren't worth fretting over when you start to get down to the bare minimum of it. So if you're going to take a reactor that's worth 16,000, or you're going to hunt around for 20 minutes looking for every last piece of, conduit or floor or whatever it is that you were working on, you can see where that could be become a balancing act that you need to address. Real quick, what we're going to do is drop this stuff on the floor here. I don't normally do that. I don't have a container to drop it in. And the reason I'm doing it is so that I know where it's at so I can sell it. Because we're really going to just sell this stuff for now. We don't have a whole lot of need yet for things like conduit. We will eventually, but that's not today. I think that's all of that stuff. I'm going to put this back up here so it doesn't get confusing. We can turn off the light, put it back on its clip point. Yeah, so far so good. Oh, I want to put, yeah, we'll hold on to that for a second. So now we're going to come over here and we're going to, you know what I should do? I'm going to put the suit, we're going to put that stuff in the toolbox. That's what we're going to do. We'll put the clothing in the toolbox for now until we have an EVA suit. Has a little bit different parameters it works with. Let's look at this bag real quick, and we're going to put our shoes on, equip, and then we're going to put these in our backpack, and then we're going to go drop them on the floor over there like we did everything else. Oh, I'm going to put these sorts of things like mechanical parts and electronic parts. I don't know where, oh, there they are. We're going to put those in the tote bag for now. And the tote bag will become, well, can we do this? I'm sure we can. Click it. There it is. And we're going to name it parts bag. And then we'll know when we roll over it, oh, that's the parts bag. There it is. All right. Coming over here, emptying our pockets one more time. Putting all of that, well, you got to do it right. All of that on the floor. Not bad. Not bad at all. I'm happy with this haul. Let's come back over here. We should have at least a couple of $1,000s here at very minimum. I would bet it's going to be closer to 5 or 6. It's hard to say. I haven't seen the prices in the station right now, and they do fluctuate. They fluctuate quite a bit, actually. So hard to say for sure, but this feels like a really, really good haul. So excited about that. We will return to the station. We will dock, and then we will go and sell our spoils in the next episode. Hope you'll hang around for that. Until then, thanks for your time this time, and until next, fair travels.